Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
Back on Facebook Live for the first time in a while. This is Zero Dark Nerdy, the world's most notorious pop culture podcast on Facebook Live. So when you get to hear this, this will be a live episode. So hardly any editing, probably no editing at all. So enjoy. We are going to be covering a few things today. But before we get into all that, we definitely want to give a big shout out to our sponsors out there. First and foremost, the Believe Podcast Network. That is BLEAV. You can check out their website, believe.com. for some other amazing podcasts out there. A lot of sports podcasts, some pop culture ones, all kinds of fun stuff out there. And betonline.ag for all your sports betting needs out there for all of our favorite degenerates in the audience. And for those of you local to Greensboro, North Carolina, do not forget about Red Cinemas for your movie-going experience, located right near downtown Greensboro. You can check out the movies on their website. The website is redcinemas.com. This is your boy, Brian, a.k.a. El Nino, and today I'm joined with
Ryan Saber, Captain Cleveland Browns. Training camp has started. The NFL is here. Cavs, Guardians, CLE till I die.
And we have a very special guest from Philadelphia back in the building with us, Sarah Chewer. Sarah is loading.
Yeah, hi. I'm Sarah, aka Sarah is loading. And
there you go. You can check her out on Instagram, which is Sarah is loading, correct?
Did we lose her? Did we lose you, Sarah?
Sorry, some ad popped up right when you announced me. I'm not even kidding. I was like, are you playing that like really loud music over me? It was timed so perfect. I was like, no, that's new. Like I've done like several of these podcasts with you before. I'm like, that seems weird. Yeah, so then I just like closed everything on my computer really quick, okay. And we're good now.
Good.
Perfect.
Well, we are
sorry about that.
Definitely glad.
I was like, I wish everyone could have heard what I heard because it was, it was a moment.
Well, glad to have you back.
Hi, I'm Sarah, aka Sarah's loading. If I don't know what you caught before, but I'm so excited to be here and talk about San Diego. It feels unreal in so many ways. So I'm happy to like relive all of it with you.
Oh, we are excited about it. And thank you so much for joining us. So today, yes, we are going to be covering San Diego Comic-Con 2022. Sarah was in attendance there with some amazing cosplays, and we definitely want to hear about some of your favorites out there. And then we are also going to get into phases 5 and 6 for all the announcements from Hall H, correct? Hall H at San Diego Comic-Con.
Yes, Hall H.
Perfect. So BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50, that is BLEAV 50, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. Perfect. So, Sarah, why don't you just tell us, so this is your second time at San Diego Comic-Con, and I guess we could just start, like, how did this differ from your first time? Was it, did you kind of have a lay of the land, like you were around a little bit better? Like, tell us a little bit about your second time there.
So, yes, that's correct. So this is my second time at San Diego Comic-Con. My first time was in 2019, which is the last year that they had it before the pandemic. And this year, things kind of, they turned out very different than how I initially planned, but definitely in a better way. Not that the first time was bad and my initial plans were bad at all. Like any experience at San Diego is going to be a great time. But my first time I had just like normal badges. I did get super lucky and I had all the days, because just getting a badge for any day is like so impossible. It's like the Hunger Games. But in 2019, I went as like a normal human, and I got into some Hall H panels. I think I saw like the final Game of Thrones panel and The Witcher, but there was no way I was going to the Marvel panel. Like, you have to plan your entire con around that. You are camping overnight. You have to have a group of people also committed to camping for basically the chance to get into the panel room. And once you're in, like, you don't leave. Like, that's your day. You can go to the bathroom. There's a bathroom like in Hall H, and there's like, they sell food kind of inside, but like it's kind of sketchy to leave and you don't want to like risk it. So I knew I would never see a Marvel panel, or that's what I thought, at least. I'm like, it's just, that's not going to happen. I'm not going to camp for days. I live in Philly. Like, I'm not going to fly 6 hours to camp. But then, so I was planning on going this year with my normal human badges, and fate just kind of aligned, and I ended up with a press badge with to help out my friend Darnell and the Party Nerds. A huge shout out to the Party Nerds. I helped them cover, since I was planning on going, like I said, stars aligned, and helped them cover the event. And I was basically able to get into Hall H that way with press, and not just get in, but I was close enough to like give fist bumps.
So no camping.
No camping. No, I actually got very, very lucky. They like closed the press panel, and it kind of around the same. I kind of got in like right after they closed it. But yeah, no camping. It wasn't really crowded in the press pit. I think there's maybe like 40 people in that little area right next to the stage, and then there's more press in like the front seats. But I was like in the area like touching the stage. Like, I could look back, I have videos, and I could see behind the curtain, like before the celebrities would go out, and like they're like standing there like waiting. Like, and I thought that was like the coolest view. Like, what you can't see like on the panels online was like that, like real emotion from people before they go out in front of like hundreds and thousands of people.
God almighty, that's fantastic. So,
so
in regards to
hold on though, Bjorn. Not only do you get to see the people that are coming, but let's be honest, right? Like, we read articles about what is shown, but Kevin Feige and the rest of the Marvel people, there is no video of the trailers that they showed. You just no. If you go on YouTube and you Google Guardians of the Galaxy, if you Google the Ant-Man Quantumania where you see Kang and he's like, wait a minute, you're an Avenger? Have I killed you before? Like, you can't see that shit. Kevin Feige and the people from Disney fucking scour the internet and take that shit down right when it goes up.
Wow, I actually didn't know that. I assumed that everything got released after that.
No, so one of the things that after the event that James Gunn talked about was like, he doesn't want people to see the Guardians of the Galaxy kind of teaser trailer that he showed, because the visual effects are not on par to what he deems acceptable. So visually, it's nowhere near what it's going to be when we see it on TV. And my assumption is, you got the same thing going on with Ant-Man as well. So anyway, yeah. So you get to see that.
Wow. I had no idea. I just assumed once they show a group of people like that, once they show it, that it's out. I mean, they are very strict. You are not allowed to record when the video, like when the like previews come on, and like you can record any other time. I have so many videos of people talking, people walking out. But the second like the lights dim, and everyone does this too, because you don't want to get in trouble and not be allowed back. Like, it's like you've never seen such a compliant group of adults.
Well, you just camped out for 3 fucking days, right? Yeah. I mean, last thing you want to do. I haven't eaten. I haven't gone to the bathroom because I didn't want to lose my spot. Now I'm going to get knocked out for a picture, right?
I was thinking too, you said with the visual effects, I'm like, I guess it doesn't matter if people haven't slept for days. They probably are like, yeah, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Oh, that's awesome.
Also, too, for any of you watching out there in the Facebook world, please feel free to, chime in with some questions for Sarah on San Diego Comic-Con. If you have curious just about tips, looking for some advice or just any kind of overall questions, please feel free to ask throughout the entire episode. And we look forward to your feedback out there. So I got my daughter over here moderating, and Doing a fantastic job. She did the lighting, so it actually looks somewhat decent in here. For a
It
change.
looks good.
It looks great.
So let me ask this question,
Yes.
right? Like, they are just rapid fire hitting you with all this shit. Like, Feige comes out there, they show the timeline, then they start breaking down, and then the individual groups start coming out. Like, is that how it works? It's just like little 10 to 15-minute panels, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, it's we talked a few minutes right before we went live, but yeah, it's so fast and feels like such a blur. Like being there, I was nervous coming on. I'm like, wait, what did I see? Like, what even was that? Like, it's so fast, so much. It's all incredible. Like, your mind's just constantly blown, and it's like we've all been to, well, most of us have been to Comic Cons. I don't know who all is watching. I'm assuming everyone's pretty experienced with cons and panels. And, you go to a panel that might be like 45 minutes, an hour. The group comes out, they talk about the movie, the show. That's it. But yeah, this is like 7, 10, 15 minutes. I have no concept of time when you're in there, but it's non-stop. They're not like breaking between groups. It's like one group goes off, the next group goes on. And they're like all the Marvel stars, like all the Marvel movies. It is like each one of these could be their own panel. And it is exactly like what you said. It's like boom, boom, boom. Like, I was like right next to the stage. You see the next group getting ready as like the other one's leaving. It's an experience.
Now 2 days or a couple of days before San Diego, the proverbial they had leaked on the internet that that Disney had sought patents on the name Captain America New World Order, Avengers Kang Dynasty, and Avengers what's the last one, Bjorn?
Secret Wars.
Secret Wars, right. Mm-hmm. Did you have any idea? I mean, I guess the expectation going into it is, okay, we're going to see what phase 5 is, right? Or what's coming next. Did you have any idea that they were going to go? Was there buzz that they were going to go that far out into 2025?
Own The Lost City on Blu-ray today. The hilarious adventure starring Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum will take you on a thrill ride through the jungle to survive the elements and find an ancient lost treasure before it's lost forever. Critics are calling it non-stop fun. Bring the adventure home today and get over 50 minutes of bonus content, including deleted scenes, cast interviews, and much more. Rated PG-13 from Paramount Pictures.
So I didn't look up anything online. And I would say from I was in Hall H for a couple of hours before we got to Marvel, because you have to, even with a press badge, you're not walking in and out. Like, I got lucky to be in that room, and I don't know when I went in, maybe like 1 p.m. for a 5 o'clock panel. But I would say in that time, I didn't really hear like any speculation or talk like in that group of ooh, what's going to happen? I heard this or that. So that wasn't really the energy. But I would say when they announced phase 6, I was shocked. I kind of felt like the energy there was like, whoa, like you are just nonstop with this information and like the content coming at us. It's like overwhelming, honestly.
They're like, we're going to provide heart attacks today.
Yeah. It's like, I would have been satisfied with like the first 15 minutes of the panel if that was the whole thing. But then it's like, you keep going.
Yeah.
And not to get too far ahead, but you got D23 in September that in Anaheim, where, they've already come out and said like, it's basic. There's 7 open slots for phase 6. My guess is they're probably going to do some panels for phase 5, maybe, bring out the Loki cast and things like that, Secret Invasion, but they're going to unveil more movies here in the next couple weeks, which is just crazy. And then we did see the Black Panther Wakanda Forever trailer, which obviously anybody who sees that, right, like it opens up, you've got the the Bob Marley, very somber. What was the vibe like in Hall H? Because I know I woke up on Saturday morning or whatever it was, and I watched it in my bed. Now I was hungover, so when I'm hungover, I get a little emotional. But I was even like, holy, like very, very emotional. What was the vibe like when they played that?
Well, it was. See, that is the panel I definitely remember the clearest. So it was the last announcement of College of the last movie, and like it. I don't want to misspeak about the whole experience, but it was. How do I explain? So there was like music and dancing and people coming up through the crowd. It wasn't just the typical walk up on stage, talk about the panel and walk off. Like it was like clear that this, like it was a moment for everybody in Hall H. I personally think it's really cool that it wasn't just actors on stage, that it was like dancers going through the crowd with everyone. Like everyone felt really connected to that. And then Ryan Coogler came out and spoke about, Chadwick. It was emotional. You're saying you're emotional because you're hungover. It was I'd say like excitement, like at a really high level, but like wasn't like somber emotion, but it felt like very super emotional too. It's very hard to describe.
Sure.
But yeah, it was very, very high energy, I would say, like in a good way. It felt very positive, like emotional, but very positive, like energy and Hall H.
Okay. Now,
No sense.
No, it makes perfect sense.
All right. It's just like you said, it seems like it was a moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I heard that for Guardians that the mood was a little somber and it was kind of a sad trailer or whatnot. Did you get that vibe too? I mean, we all know that this is going to be it for James Gunn and this is going to be it for Guardians. So he's going to wrap up and go back to Warner Brothers and take over the DC universe. But what was that vibe like? And could you tell with the cast and everything too, like this was going to be the last time a lot of them are going to be on stage for Guardians at least?
Yeah, I definitely picked that up, like for sure. Guardians, it's a humorous movie and I like the trailer and, comments people made. Like it's still a funny movie. Like that's the core of it. But there were moments and I was like, oh, okay. Like that's, it's not just like total slapstick humor the whole time. But I would say from the trailer that I felt like overall somber. I felt kind of like excitement about what was happening. But yeah, I guess I could say I would be sad. So I was like, that was sad. I'm like, oh yeah.
Well, I just heard there was a sad moment. The only clip I've seen, and it's literally a 3-second clip, it shows Rocket as a baby and, somebody picking him up, getting ready to do the experiment.
That's all you've seen? Well, I'm not going to spoil anything.
Yeah. So that's all I
don't do it.
Yeah, we gotta hold back. So let's take a break.
It's Guardians. That's all I'll say. It's still Guardians.
Okay.
I felt satisfied with the trailer.
Okay. Well, we'll get back to the MCU here in a little bit. In terms of the rest of Comic-Con, I guess go ahead and just give us a rundown of the cosplays that you wore, each day. And, maybe some of your other favorite panels, favorite moments, things like that.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm going to say something kind of controversial here. That's okay. But I would say San Diego is not really a cosplay con. I did cosplay. There are a lot of cosplays. You can go online. You'll see tons of gorgeous cosplays.
Sure.
It's like I saw amazing cosplays there.
Sure.
But compared to, I'd say, like New York Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con's like a cosplay con, or like KatsuCon, like that is a cosplay con. San Diego, there's a lot of people who cosplay, but the focus is really like the movies, the panels, the show floor. So this is like something I learned in 2019. Is the weather, it's very different from the East Coast too. And it's July and it seems like it's going to be cool, but it gets really hot during the day. And like there's a lot of walking, and just the panels are so good and everything else is so good that you don't want to spend till 2:00, 3:00 in the afternoon getting into a cosplay.
Right.
I mean, one, like, why would you do that? Like, you don't want to take photos because
I just spent 4 hours putting this shit on and I'm sweating my ass off.
Yeah. And you're like, it's not going to look good in like the midday sun. You don't want to get photos on the show floor. You can't get to your panel because everyone's stopping you. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So I focus more on like comfortable, fun, just things that would make me happy to wear because I have an excuse to wear a costume versus, going all out to make a cool cosplay. So I did Supergirl one day because, you got to do a classic superhero at Comic-Con. I did Bulma on, was it Saturday?
Love that.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't know if I'd wear it or not, but I actually ran out of normal clothes. And I was like, well, I guess I'm wearing Bulma. Both years I went, I brought a cosplay that I ended up not wearing and kind of expected that. But I was like, okay, Bulma, it's a dress, like it's short, it's comfy. And I'm so glad I did because that was the day I was at the Marvel panel and I was the only one in cosplay in the press pit.
You see a lot of Dragon Ball cosplay?
No, there was very little anime cosplay in general, but everybody knew Bulma and they got super excited. I'm a huge Dragon Ball fan. Right away when you said that, you could tell I got excited. I mean, I got Funkos here. I got a whole line of Dragon Ball Z. I just love Dragon Ball. Anyways, go ahead. No, that was my first time wearing her. I consider her my lucky cosplay now. It was that sort of reaction. It was like Bulma, and I was like, hey, it's super comfy. And when I was at the Marvel panel, I was the only one in cosplay in a pink dress, blue hair. And I got a lot of fist bumps because I think I just stood out. Chris Pratt himself walked past, kind of stopped, looked at me, and then walked back and gave me a fist bump. I was like, that is Bulma. So that was, super fun cosplay. And then, that was, I have washed my hand. That's the question everyone asks next. I washed it, but
I am so jealous of you, just of that whole thing. Because here's the thing, what I would have had to have camped out and I would have not been able to go to the bathroom. I think that's the piece I'm the most jealous of is the sliding into the press pass. So not fuck you jealous, oh man, that's so awesome jealous. But yeah, that's just great.
My advice is to wear a Bulma cosplay.
Done.
Yeah, because there was a moment I thought I was not getting into the panel because I miscommunication, missed the cutoff. My friend was in. I was like, okay, cool, it's closed. But I was like, I'm just going to go anyways and see what happens.
More of a Piccolo guy. So maybe if I rock the little Piccolo. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's all Dragon Ball. That was only my first experience. But I got in after press was closed. So Bulma. That was all Bulma. It was not me. But I had one other cosplay that was really, really fun. I was Beavis from Beavis and Butthead.
I saw that on your Instagram. That looked awesome. Who was your partner in crime? That was
so that was Cage Nerd Darnell, who is he runs his company's The Party Nerds.
Okay.
So it was funny. This is going to lead into my other favorite panel for sure. But we were, talking about San Diego, and I kind of said as a joke, but for me, when I joke, I'm also serious at the same time. I didn't know if he even watched Beavis and Butthead, but I was like, hey, let's do a Beavis and Butthead cosplay. And because he's a serious, good cosplayer, I didn't know what he would say. And he responds with videos of him that he's made in the past of doing all the voices. And I was like, cool, you're a fan. We're going to do this. Great. Had no idea that they are coming out with a new season. They just came out with the movie. The new season's out. Did it?
It's on Paramount.
Did it? I know the movie's out. But the new season.
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, the movie.
We've been watching some shit on Paramount Plus lately, and I've been seeing a lot of commercials. So maybe it is the movie. Anyway, sorry.
Oh no, don't. Yeah, don't. I was like, wait, is it out? I need to watch it right now.
Yeah, sorry guys.
That's how hyped this panel got me. But yeah, so we decided to do this, had no idea any of that was happening, that there'd be a panel, that Mike Judge himself would be there. So like eventually we start to get more information, and we see like there's a panel a few days beforehand. We're like, oh, that's so funny, we need to go. And we have Paramount, we get tickets to the Paramount Plus after party. We're like, oh, that's the same day as Beavis and Butthead, we can wear our costumes. And we get there, there's like a hotel that always has like the really big billboard of like the biggest advertisement thing there. It's Beavis and Butthead. And I'm like there with my friend, and we're like, hey, it's us. Like, we're the only people dressed as Beavis and Butthead that day. That's not like a normal cosplay. And it was just like pure coincidence that we decided to do this.
Next year, everybody will do it next year.
I hope so. I feel like it was pretty iconic. They also had like a big display like on the floor with like the chairs and the cutouts so you take photos. But yeah, totally random. But we went to the panel and we were sitting in the front row, and Mike Judge right away saw us and called us. I was like, you guys look awesome.
Oh,
we're like, yeah.
awesome.
He's like, cosplayers. And I'm like, huge fan. I was like, no one else is cosplay. But it was so fun because we just got to act like Beavis and Butthead like the entire day. Like, what a dream. I was running around at one point with toilet paper hanging out of like the back of my shorts, just like, ah! And that was like what I was supposed to be doing. That was in character.
There you go. Yeah.
But yeah, the panel, yes, really funny. The clips were hilarious. Can I talk a little bit about it?
Yeah.
No one cares about Beavis and Butthead spoilers, right? Like if you care about Beavis and Butthead spoilers, log off right now and think about your life. But what was really cool is, so like back in the day, there was like the music videos they would react to.
God, yes.
And there's a couple, so they still have that, but just updated for modern times. So they showed us a clip. One of them was a music video. It was BTS. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. All right.
All I'm going to say, the clip was hilarious. But then another thing that they are doing now to make it modern is they're reacting to TikToks. So these are like real people's TikToks. Like they go online, like they have to get permission from people to use their TikToks, and then Beavis and Butthead are commentating on it. And I think it's like the funniest thing I've ever seen.
That's what I do. I don't even have TikTok, but my girlfriend does. And she'll sit there and watch TikToks for like an hour. And like 15, 20 minutes in, I realize what she's doing because I'm usually scrolling Twitter. And next thing I know, like I'm scooching over next to her and I start watching them. And I laugh so hard when you said that because I can see myself and I comment on them. So yeah.
All you need now is the Beavis and Butthead voice, and then
there it is. I wonder if they're going to also do, because obviously when that show was around, there wasn't really reality television besides, I think, the Real World maybe, but that was really about it. So I wonder if they would incorporate them making fun of reality shows, almost kind of like a Joel McHale thing, but it's Beavis and Butthead doing it now. I think would be probably pretty awesome.
I could definitely see that happen.
Just gave him an idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome, Paramount. Let's see those commission checks.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited for it though. It's like I could see that happening. Like it still felt and looked like the original show. And Mike Judge made a comment, or someone asked a question. I think, I'm not quite sure, but basically, like they still, I don't want to say they're badly drawn because it's disrespectful to the people who draw them. But we know, I mean, they're not drawn great. That's the style of Beavis and Butthead. And he said that like tried to make them look better at one point, but it just didn't feel authentic. So it's like they still look the way they've always looked.
The MTV,
like the really
animation,
weird lines. But then, like with the TikToks and the modern things, like it feels like it hits the right note of modern, but still nostalgic.
So back to Hall H, I guess you could say. The MCU Phase 5 and 6 announcements. We already covered a little bit of it. Just to kind of give you a rundown in case you've been living under a rock, Phase 4 wraps up with She-Hulk on Disney Plus, and then officially wraps up with Black Panther Wakanda Forever. And then it kicks off Phase 5 kicks off February 17th of next year with Ant-Man and Wasp, Quantumania. Then we're going to have Secret Invasions spring of next year. Guardians 3 on May 3rd, it looks like, of next year. Echo on Disney Plus in the summertime, followed by Loki season 2. Then the Marvels movie, July 28th. Blade with Mahershala coming back November 3rd, 23. Ironheart, fall of 23. Agatha, looks like winter 23 going into 24. And then 18 episodes of Daredevil Born Again in spring 24. And then rounding it out, Captain America, New World Order, May 3rd, 2024. And then the final movie for Phase 5 is going to be the Thunderbolts, July 28th, 2024. So before we get into Phase 6, any of those, I guess let's start off with the ones that maybe you're most excited about. And then we'll go there. And then, maybe kind of round it off with question marks, maybe who we think might be like a wild card or an underdog kind of thing. And maybe just one or two where you're just like, maybe.
Yeah. The one that kind of surprised me that I'd say I'm most excited about and wasn't expecting it was She-Hulk. So we saw the trailer for that, and I'm not spoiling, but I just thought it was really funny. And maybe it's because I wasn't really thinking about it or didn't really have any expectations. I just was like, it's another Marvel thing coming out. But I was like, oh, this actually looks really good. I'm so excited for this. And Wakanda Forever, of course, that looks it's super epic. For ones less excited about, everyone's gonna. I know everyone got super excited for Daredevil. Like everyone's like roaring. I don't know. I don't care. We'll see.
Did you watch it when it was on Netflix or no?
No.
Okay.
So maybe that's why. So we'll see. It's not like a hard no, but I was just like, I don't see why everybody's like cheering so hard, but I guess they're onto something that I'm not. So we'll see about that.
Episodes is a lot too. I mean, for any show, but 18 episodes, I don't know. And then on top of that, going from the rated R Netflix version to a more PG-13 friendly Disney Plus version is going to.
I don't think it's going to be.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's. I saw somewhere they're going to designate it. Shit. It's not going to be like a Disney Plus series.
It's not going to be a hard R, but
it's going to be a Marvel Studios series.
Oh, okay.
So they're going to start designating the softer. Again, speculation. Whatever.
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know Disney was doing that.
Yeah.
It makes sense because eventually they're going to have to do it when they do Deadpool 3 or whenever they bring him in, they're going to have to do some kind of designation for that.
Yeah.
So, and then I will say this before we get to Saba, because I definitely want to hear your list. I have a feeling, and I'd love to get your feedback too. My buddy Kip brought this up to me. I feel like Wakanda Forever takes place during the blip. I don't think or at least the majority of the film is going to be on. That's my prediction, because when the mom is screaming out, "My whole family's gone," I was like, oh man, this may be happening during the blip, because if you remember Okoye in Endgame, when Black Widow was having the meeting with Captain Marvel and everybody else, she mentioned earthquakes off the coast, and the kind of assumption then was, oh, this could be Namor, this could be Atlantis. So I have a feeling that, and to me, I feel like it would also be a smoother transition into, Chadwick, obviously not here anymore, tremendous loss to the MCU, but for, as far as the writing and everything else, well, how can we explain what happened to Chadwick? So that's kind of my prediction. I was really glad Kip opened my eyes to that, because especially after that one clip, I was like, man, that really makes sense. So I'm not saying the whole movie takes place during the blip, but I feel like the majority of it might. And that's just kind of my prediction.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I was also wondering how they would handle those same issues. So
yeah,
that usually the most obvious thing probably is what they'll go with.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we can go with the blip, damn it.
It was kind of a big deal. It'd be weird not to use that.
Right.
So Ryan, what's your anticipated most looking forward to least?
Yeah. So I know a lot of people. I caught some shit. I caught hell because I've been a little underwhelmed. with Phase 4. Thor, this last Thor movie, I wasn't a huge fan of it. So I came on our
this is
episode.
awkward. I wore my Thor shirt to the podcast.
I love Thor. I love Thor. I didn't necessarily like the movie. Yeah, certainly not the first hour of it. I definitely liked the second hour of it. But with all that being said, I feel like these releases reinvigorated me a little bit. I think there's so much to be excited about. As we talked about on that Thor episode, I feel like once we get into Phase 5 and into Phase 6, Phase 4 and kind of all the buildup and setup and groundwork that they're laying is going to make a whole lot more sense. Okay, so number one, I love Jonathan Majors. Love the Kang character. I loved him with the He Who Remains character. So, just reading the whole interaction with him and Scott Lang when they're in the quantum realm, and oh, you're an Avenger. Have I killed you before? I know I already brought that up, but like just reading it kind of gave me chills. I've always been a huge fan of the Ant-Man movies. I watch them still pretty often. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. I mean, dude, come on, Blade. Like, nothing else needs to be said. Secret Invasion. Like, I was reading an article yesterday or maybe the day before that talks about how this is being positioned as the first MCU crossover event where they're going to bring old boy from what is his name? The cop from Wakanda, from Wakanda Forever, the white dude that was in that
was in The Hobbit.
Yeah. So he's going to be brought into it. They're also bringing they're bringing all these different people into it, which obviously opens up just the possibilities of that show are really endless with, the shape-shifting ability and all that. So I'm really looking forward to that. Dude, Loki is my favorite Marvel show so far. So season 2, definitely looking forward to that. I like that they're doing an Ironheart spinoff. Obviously they're going to introduce her in Wakanda Forever, but I like that they're starting to give some of these young Avengers, which is what that's leading to, giving them their own shows and laying the groundwork. And the Thunderbolts, right? The Thunderbolts is sort of so basically all of it, right? Like every single one of them. The Thunderbolts is kind of like a Suicide Squad for the MCU. So I'm a fan of that. So yeah, but to Sarah's point, the one that I'm really not pumped about is Daredevil. I mean, they're going away from the 6-episode kind of thing that they've been doing. So now we're like, this is like a 3 seasons in one. Now, the one thing that'll change my whole fucking perspective is if they bring Johnny Barenthal and Punisher is in this, then that changes everything. Everything is off then, and then I'm all in. Not that I don't like the Matt Murdock character, and not that I didn't enjoy the Netflix series, but like, I don't know, 18 episodes just feels like a lot thrown in there. But with the caveat that if they bring the Punisher in there, then I'm all in. So
excellent. Got a question.
So all of it. I like it all.
I likes it all. Kind of not interested in Daredevil.
Yeah. And I just want to say this though, Bjorn.
Yeah.
Miss Marvel, I have not watched the last episode.
Yeah.
Okay. But Miss Marvel, I believe, like, I love Loki, but I think that is one of the best done shows that they've put out so far. Just a completely different vibe. I loved what they did with that. So, obviously,
I'm looking forward to it now.
I'm looking forward to the Marvels.
Yeah. Now that it's wrapped up, I'm definitely planning on binging it at least this week. So quick question out there from Aaron Kroom. Big shout out to our buddy Aaron. Are the Daredevil episodes going to be an hour or half an hour? I don't know, unfortunately.
No, they didn't.
They didn't specify that anywhere. So there's no telling. I really hope they're only half an hour.
Yeah, I really hope they're not an hour long.
Yeah.
I can
18
tell you
hours?
this: they're not going to be 3 hours like Stranger Things. So you're getting 18 3-hour episodes with Daredevil.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Aaron, I wish we had that answer for you, buddy. We'll get Kevin Feige on the line.
I'm hoping for like anime timing where it's like 22 minutes an
Right.
episode.
I love that.
Hell yeah.
I mean,
That'd be
yeah.
great.
Yeah. For me, Blade, of course. I'm totally looking forward to that. I think Agatha is my wild card. I think that's going to be one of those where it's going to be they're going to knock it out of the park, or it's going to be pretty forgetful. But I really love. I think it's Catherine Hahn. I think her character is fantastic. Really loved her as Agatha in the WandaVision series. So that's my wild card. Daredevil, just like Saba, 18 is a lot. I'm really hoping they're half an hour or even less. I will like it, not just that they bring back Barenthal as a Punisher, but if it does lead up to a Midnight Suns type of thing to where we start getting some of the, more, what's the word I'm looking for, like anti-heroes, like Ghost Rider, things like that. So we'll see. I think that's going to be an exciting part of the MCU whenever they do get to that Midnight Suns kind of darker area. And of course, just like you said, Thunderbolts, love it when they can put a group of villains together. And they are, rumor is that, Winter Soldier is going to kind of be the good guy in the group that wrangles them all together. Sebastian,
Like the Rick Flag.
The Rick Flag.
Yeah.
Correct. So that would be very interesting to see, and I think it would be an awesome dynamic. And that does come out right after Captain America and WO, so it'll be cool to see how they tie that up, and we'll go from there. Ant-Man and Wasp, super duper psyched for, and I mean Wakanda Forever. Like, if you're not excited for that movie, I don't know what's going on with you. So,
I would say the one like wild card though is Echo. Like, we don't know a lot about. Obviously, we had that character in
Hawkeye.
In Hawkeye.
Mm-hmm.
I was reading something this week that it's gonna have like a Moon Knight vibe to it, like dealing with like the supernatural and mythical stuff, which to me is like it's out in left field a little bit. So I'm interested. That is a definite wild card.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I mean, of course, Guardians 3, I think for me, it's probably Black Panther and then Guardians like right there underneath it for my 1 and 2 that I'm super excited about, especially because they are both like the closest that we have. So now going to phase 6, they finally announced it. We get to meet the first family. Fantastic Four, still a lot up in the air. They're not confirming that Jim Halpert's going to come back.
Any doubt? Is there any doubt in anybody's mind that Krasinski isn't Mr. Fantastic? Like, let's be honest.
I would love for him to be, but yeah, you never know. It's Marvel. Then, of course, in the same year, we will get 2 Avengers movies. So we'll get Avengers Kang Dynasty and then Avengers Secret Wars, which I cannot wait for. So let me ask you two one question as far as preference. A lot of people know Dr. Doom is one of my favorite villains. I can't wait for the casting announcement.
I saw they already have him cast, and I also saw that Giancarlo Esposito has actually been interviewing for roles. So I saw those things like a day or two apart.
Okay.
I think he would be a fucking phenomenal Victor Von Doom. I mean, a little bit unconventional, I guess. Mm-hmm. Right. But I think that dude is fucking great, man.
Hey, and we want to hear from you out there too. Who do you think would be a great Dr. Doom? Sarah, who would you?
I am so bad at this. I need to pass. I'm so bad. I could be meeting a celebrity and be like, what's your name? I'm sure whoever they cast will be perfect because of Marvel, they really do perfect casting.
They do. I would have and I brought this up before, Mads, I always butcher his last name, but he was in the first Doctor Strange movie as the villain, and I thought that was a waste. I think he was the
dad in Rogue One.
He's been in a lot of stuff. Great actor. I think he would have been a fantastic Doctor Doom. But we'll see. Maybe the multiverse will switch that up. Who knows?
He played the Bond villain that had bled through his eye, and I like him.
So phase 6, thoughts, predictions, excitement. Where are you two at with this?
Sarah, you go first.
I feel like it's so far away. It's 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 hard to like really have thoughts about it like at phase 5, where it's like, okay, what am I planning to see this next year or the next 2 years? But I mean, clearly, like Avengers Secret Wars, like, you know, that was like the hype moment for I think everyone in Hall H or Roomsalt. We're like, yes, another Avengers movie. I guess it sounds weird. Like I knew there would be more, but after Endgame, I don't know, I kind of never thought about there being additional Avengers movies. It kind of felt like it was done. And then it's like, oh, wait, no, it's not done. Like we're getting another one. That's super exciting. So I'm going to keep it like high level and not try to get into the nitty gritty of things years in the future. And just, I'm going to keep with, I'm excited for the.
So I got a spoiler alert for everybody. The fucking Avengers are going to lose again. That's what that tells me, right? There's going to be this, you're going to get them in May 2025. It's going to be a multiverse war, like the one that He Who Remains described at Loki. Go back and watch the last episode of Loki where all the Kangs are fighting each other. Basically, I don't want to get too far into it, but in Doctor Strange, they talked about how when realities start to combine, the worlds collapse on each other. So the Kangs have to fight each other to prevent their worlds from collapsing, blah, 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 blah. The Avengers are going to get involved. They're going to fucking lose, right? And then we're going to spend. Now, I have talked about this many times, that year in between Infinity War and Endgame, and how there was really nothing like it in my lifetime. The anticipation for the Endgame to come out, you're going to have that again in a shorter period, which I don't know if that's good or if that's bad, but I believe that you know, Secret Wars is when you're going to see, and there's multiple iterations of Secret Wars. There's kind of the original one that came out like late 80s, early 90s. This is going to be more like the 2015 version where Doctor Doom actually becomes the Grand Emperor, and or whatever his name is, where he's got the white outfit on and he's got this world that he brings all these realities that have collapsed on each other together, and everybody kind of fights it out. And there's, you know, you're going to get all the Spider-Men, you're going to get mutants, you're going to get probably Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans back for that. You know, it's going to be an epic level event that's going to come on the heels of another sort of end of Infinity War, when we all walked out of the fucking theater and we're just like, oh my God, half these fucking people just died. Like, what's going to happen? So it's going to be just like that, except for one kind of big thing. The beginning of the Infinity Saga, call it phase 1, was not as planned out and put together as phase 4 has been. So there's just going to be this point in like phase 5 where like everything clicks, and it's going to lead into phase 6, and it's just going to be fucking amazing. It's going to be beautiful. I mean, these are the golden years of cinema for me. Like the idea that Kevin Feige and the folks at Disney are doing everything that they are with these characters that we all know and love. I'm excited. I don't know if anybody can tell. Like this is going to be fucking amazing, and I cannot wait. And 2025 will be here before you know it, because they're hitting us with content every 30 to 60 days. Every 30 to 60 days, we're getting something else. Boom, boom, boom. So it's amazing. Let's just hold off monkeypox. Come on, baby.
Yeah, no more pandemics, please, for the love of God.
Sorry, Behan. You knew I was going to do it.
Hey, I love it.
So
man.
Excited.
It's been a fun episode. So, Sarah, any final thoughts before we wrap up? Where can people find you besides just Instagram, all that? Let the audience, let the world know how they can get some more Sarah's Loading in their life.
Yeah, I mean, my main platform is Instagram, Sarah's Loading. I occasionally stream to Twitch. I have a Twitter I don't really check, but same name on all platforms. But Instagram, that is the house of everything I announce, whether I'm doing the podcast with you guys or whatever I'm doing next, I put it on there. So please check it out. And yeah.
Any upcoming cons before?
Yeah, it's like, what are my next cons? Yeah. I think I'm going to Dragon Con. Awesome. I need to book my flight. I might do that right now, right after
Where's
this.
that?
It's in Atlanta.
Okay.
So I've never been, so I can't tell you what it's about. But I think it's about partying.
Yes.
So
Cosplay.
it's a party con from what I've heard in Atlanta. So that just sounds like a great time. So we'll see. And then my next big con is New York Comic Con. Super excited. We'll have to link up. Anyone watching, like go to New York Comic Con, say hi, follow me, find my cosplay, say hi. Would love to meet everyone.
There you go. As always, thank you so much for joining us on Saba. Any final thoughts before we wrap up?
I'm having breakfast for dinner tonight, and I can smell it cooking right now, and I am fucking so jazzed up. So I love everybody.
Bacon or sausage?
We do a little bit of both. There's some biscuits. We're in North Carolina, so little scrambled eggs, little biscuits, little bacon, little sausage. I'm about to enjoy my life. smell it through the bag, baby. So yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
There you go. As always, please be sure to check us out. Our website is popculturepodcast.com. And of course, our podcast is on all podcast formats, Spotify, YouTube, Pandora, iTunes, all that fun stuff. I'm just looking at my dog.
All of them.
Yeah, everywhere. And of course, you can listen to them right on our website as well. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow. Definitely make sure you check out Sarah is Loading on Instagram, like her page as well, too. Big thank you again to Believe Podcast Network. That is BLEAV. BetOnline.ag for your sports betting needs. And as always, Red Cinemas for your cinematic adventures here in Greensboro, North Carolina. On behalf of everybody else on Zero Dark Nerdy, thank you all so much for watching here on Facebook Live. For those of you listening, thank you so much. And we will see you next time. Peace.
Bye.
Peace.
Yeah! Victory!
And anger management? Fuck anger management.
Thank you for listening to Believe. You can show support to your host by subscribing to the show and giving us a 5-star rating on your preferred platform. Check us out at Believe.com and search for BLEAV on YouTube.
Hey, it's Michelle Beadle. That's right, the Michelle Beadle. You're welcome. You love talking about sports. I love talking about sports. You know the only thing cooler than talking about sports? Sports! And right now, all your favorite sports are on Sirius XM. I'm talking every NFL game, every game from the NBA, NHL, MLB, every NASCAR race, golf major conference college sports, and all the top games in the WNBA. If it gets your heart pumping, it's on Sirius XM. To start your free trial of Sirius XM today, visit SiriusXM.com/believe.